Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another interview. I hope you're having an amazing week. As you guys know, I'm Alona Lopari, business coach, and I have the honor today to have on Elizabeth. Elizabeth, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your journey and your story with us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Luna. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Elizabeth, let's start with a little introduction. Who is Elizabeth? What do you want to share with us?
Yeah. Elizabeth is a business owner. I'm a business strategist. I help business owners increase their profits or revenue by creating the right structures and systems in their business. Well, I'm also a mom and a wife.
Oh, awesome. So business strategist, that is so important, especially who do you usually help? Who do you usually work with?
Okay, I started by focusing on nonprofit, but with time, I started getting a lot of other business owners and if now have worked with business owners in different industries in fashion and in I've worked with coaches. I've worked with those who have the beauty, for instance, I could say hairstylists and those who have salon. And yeah, I'm trying to I've worked with VA and also coaches, yes, like I said. Yeah.
Mm. Cool. Quite a variety of business owners. Service based seems like mostly businesses.
Yeah.
That's cool. So Elizabeth, how did you get to do what you're doing today? What is your background?
Yeah, so I have a bachelor's in accounting and then a master's in international business. But when I started, I was a stay-at-home mom, but I thought of doing something for myself. And then when I was about to start, I thought I had nothing to offer. But then I just started with the people around me by offering free services so that I could learn to do the work. And then I started promoting to people that I didn't know. And yeah, I started getting more businesses. And what else did I do? I networked with a group of young entrepreneurs at a time when I started, and that opened opportunity for me. But then I wanted to be more, I wanted to be able to show my kids an example that the fact that I'm a stay at home mom doesn't mean that I can't do other stuff. And just to let them have a balanced representation of what it means to be a woman or a female. Now, it doesn't have to end in the kitchen or at home. And it's okay for those who are doing it also because it's really also a rewarding effort. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. It's like role modeling for your children, especially as I think a lot more women are trying to find that right now, are trying to step up, and we're taking on businesses and we're taking on doing different things from maybe traditional roles. So I think the change is definitely been um, good, and I think it's going to start growing and keep
Yeah.
climbing, which is amazing. And I loved your story about you just wanted to kind of just offer to see what you had to offer, what skills you already had gained. And I know now after COVID, a lot of people might be thinking that. They might be thinking, well, I don't have anything to offer. Maybe they lost their jobs, or maybe the circumstances have changed. So it's important to kind of like tell people that there's always skills that they can use, that they know really well, that they can monetize maybe by solving a problem for somebody else. And
Yeah.
starting small. I mean, that's
Yeah.
baby steps into maybe new opportunities that might come down the line that you might not know what they might be. Elizabeth, so in your entrepreneurship journey, what has been some of the biggest challenges that you think you have encountered, and you're maybe you have overcome, or you're still trying to overcome? As I know, I have many as well, and I could share
Yeah.
mine.
I have many too. So in my journey, sometimes I feel so overwhelmed in so many information online, and I need help being able to streamline it in a process and also adapt it to what I'm doing. and at the same time being able to consistently do something for a long time without um, you know, I've got young kids which needs they need attention, and sometimes when I'm focusing on them I forget what I need to do, and it just interfere. So, and time is ticking. Being able to balance both was also a challenge, but then I had to take that was because I was putting so much in my plate and not being realistic with what I'm able to do daily. And I had to go back and replan and re-strategize on what is visible and what is feasible and what is realistic. What can I achieve? And that's why I
Mhm.
believe that every little step counts, and it's also progressive, move me forward in my business. And yeah, another challenge, I know that I have many, I won't be able to share everything, but another challenge is um, when I meet with some clients who are not able to afford, and I understand that 10% of some people might not be able to afford your service legitimately, and 90% of them might just not be sure of what you want to offer. And they might have some objections which are not related to finance. So, but those 10%, I try to, I'm connected emotionally and want to make me just find something, find a way to offer them the service. And I need to know that I also have bills.
Mhm. Mhm. Right. No, absolutely. I can relate to the same challenges with the time management for sure.
Yeah.
As especially if you're, let's say, the beginning of the business, this was more true for me maybe a couple of time back. Um, that I would take on so much and I didn't know how to say no. So I had to figure out that I had to strategize and prioritize my life. Otherwise, I was trying to do too many things, being a mom, building the business, relationships, everything else that you have to do. And I was feeling guilty in everything. And I'm like, I'm not successful in anything.
Yeah.
So you're trying to do so many things. And then you just feel like, of course, you're going to get burned out. That's usually what happens because we,
Yeah.
we don't prioritize our self-care. That goes out of the
Yeah.
window. Just
That's right.
trying to do everything else. So I definitely can relate to that. But I would say that I've definitely improved on that just by being very strategic and prioritizing my time and
Hmm.
focusing my attention on income producing activities for our
Yeah.
business. Because if we don't have sales, then we don't have a business, then we can impact more people and we would be struggling. So I think I encountered the sales mindset as far as clients as well. But it's just like learning how to overcome objections. And I believe if you really believe in the service,
Hmm.
that at least was what I found, then it's like, okay, so, how come you don't see that? Maybe it would be timing or whatever it might be. But if you believe in what you're doing, I think, if you talk to people naturally about it like that, and they also start to see the value. And I know at the beginning, I think a lot of people, I've done the same thing, gone to many customers to find my ideal customer, because you don't
Yeah.
know unless
Yeah.
you talk to people and you are offering your services and you're making mistakes and all of that good stuff,
Hmm. Hmm.
when it comes to the territory. But I think,
Yeah.
yeah, those are definitely legitimate challenges of kind of like putting your foot down and,
Yeah.
really going and filtering out and clarifying who your ideal customer is.
Yeah.
So
Right.
um, you can serve those people, because
Hmm.
that's I think that's why we do what we do, to serve the audience that
Yeah.
we choose to make that impact.
Mm.
Um, so Elizabeth, you mentioned that you do business strategy. So is there like a few tips you want to share with us on business strategy that maybe could help our audience?
Okay. Like you said, Lona, I would like to reinforce this by saying that you need to know who your audience is. You need to know who you're targeting. And you also need to be able to understand how they express their problems and how they express their satisfaction. And how do you know this? You need to communicate, you need to build a relationship. and have a conversation with them, not a salesy one, not for you to sell your product or service, but you want to get to know them. And as you ask those questions, you get to know their interest and what is more priority to them. And after that, well, you also get to know how they communicate that, because when you're articulating your value to them, you need to speak in their language. I know that a lot of people usually say that I make posts and no one respond, no one try to even see what I'm offering. I'm not getting and I'm not making any sales. But we need to be sure that our messages are well targeted. And once you know that, and you're able to communicate with them, and they're able to convert or they believe in what you're offering or your value, you need to have a plan on retaining them. It's far cheaper to retain customers than to to get new ones. And 65% of your revenue comes from customer retention, and people forget. So I just think that we need to have a plan for that. Another The third tip which I would like to share is having a structure that can sustain your business. Make sure you focus on these three major ones. But as your business grow, you will know what else you need to add. Your finance, you need to be able to trace back your return on investment to whatever expenses you're incurring, or the assets you have, and this can mean different things for different businesses depending on the industry. You need to be able to know that what you're buying, what you're spending money on is worth it. It's actually generating something, and there are some that might not necessarily bring returns in terms of, for instance, if you're using your car to transport goods or products, you know that you're using it for something. But your office too is also for a purpose, so your rent is also an expense, but it's worth it. But there are some other things, maybe some softwares or applications that you buy, that you um, subscribe to. You need to be able to see what returns you're getting from that. If it's worth it, if you need to um, buy another one or you need to stop. So you need to be able to trace that and also know if you're making profits or you're just making revenue and there without profit margin. The next one is your sales and marketing, which is the second structure, which it's important. You need to have a plan because that's also the gateway to which people will get to know your business and purchase from you. And your operations cycle will mean maybe for a school, if your ideal client or your target audience approach you and they consult you, that's the first stage. And what do you do from that place till you delivery? How do you serve them? And how do you work in your business too? How do you operate? What do you do daily? All of this will fall under the operations. I just think basically those are the three things you need to make sure you have a plan and define each processes and be able to identify how they are connected in a way, so that when you need to scale your business, you're able to go into those three major pillars of your business and check where there is a gap and if you need to improve the process.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So helpful. I can relate to so much of what you said, especially with learning the language of your target customer. It is so important to be so observant and see what
Mhm.
you can learn. Because a lot of times, because we're always focused on getting clients, I think I still make this mistake. We skip the part of just being there for someone and like hearing what is it that they're going through, what is their struggles,
Yeah.
and figuring out like how they're describing them, because that you can use that in all your messaging, because now you know exactly how they describe your problem, and it takes the guessing work out of the question, which is really helpful, because how many times I was sitting there trying to come up with content, but we think of
Mhm.
something one way, but we have no idea how the market thinks about it. So Yeah, that was a great takeaway. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for sharing that.
No
And of course,
problem.
the other components that you mentioned,
Yeah.
with as far as like structuring the systems,
Yeah.
it's so important. Once you get a couple of clients, those becomes much needed because now you have to manage the clients you have, and then you also have to have a system of how you attract new clients. Because then, if
Right.
your pipeline is not flowing,
Mm-hmm.
then those customers, what happens to those customers that you finish
Yeah.
with providing the service, then you will be, falling back. So you
Yeah.
kind of got to have a stream of pipeline for to have people that you're helping. So it's
Yeah.
juggling both. It's definitely a thing, but it just
Mm-hmm.
needs to be done to kind of be sustainable, because otherwise you can't pay your bills, as you said, and all the
Yeah.
expense. So yeah, very, very important. Elizabeth,
Yeah.
if people want to find out more about you or what you do and how you can help them, where is it that they can find you?
So they can reach me on my website www.olive consulting olive OLIVE consulting consulting.org.
Okay, awesome. I'll also include the link on the bottom of this interview for anyone that wants to get access to the website.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for coming on and sharing how you got into what you do today and some of the challenges that I think a lot of people relate to, and also those business strategy tips that you shared with us. Thank you
It's
so much
my
for being
pleasure.
with us today.
Thank you too. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
Take care. We'll see each other again. Bye, everyone.